Alright guys, so today I am looking at the New Warriors Omnibus Volume 1, and with Volume 2 only about a month away, I thought it was a good time to jump into this 90s superhero team. And my first thought when I was looking at this is Marvel's attempt at Teen Titans after the huge success in the 80s for DC? Well, yes, and a little bit of no. Let's get right into it. So as always, I like to kind of go over what's in here. So we have New Warriors issues 1 to 26. We have New Warriors Annual 1 and 2, Avengers 341 and 342, material from Thor 411 and 412, New Mutants Annual 7, X-Men Annual 15, X-Factor Annual 6, Amazing Spider-Man Annual 26, Spectacular Spider-Man is going to be Annual 12, and Web of Spider-Man Annual 8. So this is right around 40 issues, and you definitely feel it. It definitely feels like a nice, thick omnibus. And what I really want to emphasize is this is a team book, so this is a lot of focus on maybe characters that came out before that didn't get much notice, or brand new characters. A lot of these guys were brand new to me. So as we start the book, really what works is that you have a team of young adults and teenagers kind of working together. Characters like Marvel Boy, Firestar, Nova, and Speedball, and so on. And really, they all come together in an interesting way. Now, I will say the way they get together at first feels a little rushed. I mean, come on, we got to speed it up to get the team going by the end of issue 1. But once they're together, once you get that great dynamic between them, I really think it works well. I think these characters bounce off each other, and you know, you have the wild stallion Nova, and you have the smart but courageous Firestar, and you have the team leader Night Trasher. And the book definitely focuses on all these characters and their different adventures, and I think that's where it works the best, when the main cast is the main focus, when you're talking about them specifically and going through their trials and tribulations. It is a great book in my opinion, and I really just enjoy that they're all there for each other. You almost feel like they're a family, a really big, awesome, superpowered family. And I also just really want to focus real fast on Night Trasher, who's a character I never really read too much or really knew about. I kind of did, but I didn't know much about, and I absolutely fell in love with this character. Think basically a mixture between the Punisher and Batman with a kind of goofy looking mask or helmet, and then a really goofy little gimmick, which is a skateboard for a weapon. But no, he's a badass. He doesn't take no shit, and he will pounce on you, punch you out, and fight till the death, basically. And so I really liked him, and he is really the main focus. He is the leader of this group, and you really get to know a lot about him, and by the end, he is kind of definitely the central character of the entire New Warriors. Now, I get a lot of praise here, but let's talk about some of the negatives. The two big ones that come into mind are going to be the crossovers. The crossovers in this book do it no favors. What I have to say is a lot of 80s and 90s books, they used to do a lot of crossovers to sell that book. So they put lesser known characters into things like Thor, Spider-Man, or X-Men. And they do that here with a major crossover that just really just stops the entire great pacing of this series. After probably about 8 or 9 great issues, we get a crossover with the X-Men and X-Factor, and this storyline is boring, is the best way I can put it. It was overly long, it wasn't that interesting, and it really took me out for about a good 120 pages or so. Luckily, once we get past that, we get right back into the nitty and gritty of the team cast, and I love that. However, we do get into a couple of more crossovers, again with Fantastic Four later, and those are the least interesting part, is when the book either crosses over or where it tries to be bigger than it needs to be. When it tries to have villains that are, you know, more Avengers level style, it just doesn't work. I do really want to note that there is an Avengers 2-issue or 2-parter in here, and for anybody who you know, tries to avoid the very loud voices of the internet and proclaim that these days politics are getting into comic books, look no further than an example that happened 32 years ago, where a Hispanic kid was pretty much almost beaten to death in the Avengers issue, and we deal with riots and cop brutality and so on. So Fear not, the great leaders of the voice that you hear online telling you that politics are brand new and destroying comics are very, very, very much fucking wrong. I can also tell you reading Moon Knight in the 70s also had political undertones, but this book just proves that. Anyway, those issues are actually great. You get to meet Rage, who, if you don't know, I knew him from the Nick Spencer run on Captain America, but it was great to kind of see him here, much younger, and see him kind of be introduced in the Avengers, and then later on join the New Warriors. So I really loved all that. And last but not least, I'd like to talk about that this is definitely deals with more personal, human level factors. So you deal with Marvel Boy and going on trial for murder. You deal with Night Trash's whole family and what happened to him and all the secret twists and turns that definitely hit home. And like I said, you deal with some political undertones, actually quite a bit. We also deal with like people trying to save forests after people are trying to take over, extreme activists, things like that. So if that's more towards your liking, more of an emotional, personal level, I think the New Warriors does a lot of it. I think really the only negative for me in this entire omnibus are the crossovers. Now, sadly, the crossovers take, I would say, about 1/4 of the book. There's two big ones, being Spider-Man and New Warriors, which is about 4 issues. That's okay. But the atrocious X-Men crossover with New Warriors is not good. The Thor one's okay, goofy but fun. And then the Fantastic Four one, luckily, is only a couple of issues, and it's just okay. It gets a little too big for the New Warriors, in my opinion. But I'm going to stop babbling on. New Warriors is an interesting book. I didn't know much about them. I knew Nova. I read a few issues in this to kind of get to know Nova from my other video. But I really enjoyed the team dynamic more than I thought reading them in a row. I really got to love almost every character, including Namor's cousin, which I didn't even know he had. Awesome. And yeah, this is a cast that I'm really, really enjoying. I'm definitely picking up Volume 2. And if it wasn't for the crossovers, this would be really high on my list as like a 4.5. Because of those crossovers, I got to bring it down to a 4. But I still think this is great. If you love the 90s and you love the art style in here, which is very much Mike Bagley, then you're going to absolutely love this as much as I did. I hope you guys enjoy. And, sorry, I said Mike Bagley. Mark Bagley. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I hope you guys enjoyed. Pick up this book and get ready for part 2. It is out in September if it doesn't get pushed back, and I am definitely picking up that bad boy when it's out.